And keeping that momentum going, it's really nice to know as well that, like you said, Clive, another label who's been close with you, working with you both, is CQQL Records. And you've got a fantastic release coming out on December the 2nd, which is very imminent at this point of time, which is going to be a great collection of your releases, which is essentially, many of it, I think, correct me if I'm wrong here, but is it like a re-release or touching on many points from the demos, the Lost Demos release?
Yeah, if I give you the sort of the chronology of that, I mean, very quickly in a nutshell, because I know we covered it in the last podcast, which we were really grateful that you gave us an opportunity. It's the only McKenzie Gardiner podcast in the world, and I'm delighted that was listened to. But really what happened is 20 years after From Time was released, so 1983, the 12-inch single was released. 20 years later, some people from a website called Dance Classics got in touch and told us it was a rare groove going for silly money. We really had no idea. And then some of the funk boogie collectors around that site started contacting me online and saying, well, what else did you have that was around at that time? And of course we had demos. Earl and I had kept our treasures and thought they would be for us only, that because the record company had passed on them, and in our minds they were still not finished, but had some really good ideas and creativity in there. And through backwards and forwards from genuine collectors, listening to stuff I'd post on SoundCloud.
Sure.
They gave us the inspiration, if you like. So I went and got that stuff remastered and put it as a digital album in 2013. And that digital album had 12 tracks. From that 12-track album, 8 of them went onto a vinyl edition in 2014. That vinyl edition was called the Lost Songs from Time, the Lost Demos, and it was working with SAF Records in France. So the guy that runs that is Phil Boogie Times, and again, big thanks to Phil for helping us at that moment as well, and he's still in touch with everything we do since. That album flew, so the limited edition copies sold out straight away. And since then, it's been going for increasingly silly money. Obviously, Discogs has become a marketplace. In lockdown, prices went crazy, as you know, as someone who's deep in this world. And Lost Demos, nobody could get hold of it. Plus, the few copies that were selling for silly money. I mean, I think one went for a month ago for £217 or something. It's crazy. Now, separately to that, about 2 years ago, CQQL got in touch and said they loved our catalog music, so the music we did in the 80s, and they wanted to release a 7-inch, and ultimately they would like to release an album as well. So they haven't come at it at all from the point of view of there were 8 tracks on a vinyl album many years ago and that was sold out and nobody could get it. What they've come at from the point of view is we want to make the ultimate collection now of all their 80s recordings, and that's ended up being 15 tracks. And it's become a labor of love for them and for us as well, that's led to this release timestamp, the collection that is on pre-order now and comes out on the 2nd of December.
Yeah, that's excellent. And just to say, special big thanks to Randy Ellis over there at CQQL Records and the Alaya as well for special attention to detail for this release. But just for our listeners here on the show, just to describe it, it's a beautiful double LP which a lot of love and attention to detail has been put into it, from like the linear notes and also like the lyrics as well, all printed up. It's a beautiful package.
It's a complete labor of love, as I said, and that comes from them. They asked us to photo dump anything we have photos wise from that period, and then Alaya, who's the co-partner in CQQL Records, she is a graphic designer, professional graphic designer, and she went away and came up with a design that's very, it's many pictures of photo booths from that period, as well as a clock and timestamp, and there's a sort of vintage feel on there. But the extra bits, can we get liner notes? Can we get all the lyrics? Of course, we've got all that stuff, but nobody's ever asked us for that. So to be able to share that working in partnership with a label that wants to add all that value to people, is amazing, because obviously our songs often have a story to them. They're not just there's normally a perspective anyway that the storyteller is saying, whether it's something that Earl wrote or I wrote or we wrote together. And people have wondered what the lyrics are. And already in the last few days, I've had a couple that are long-time supporters of ours for many, many years. And they're based in Anaheim. So if I give a shout out to V-Funk 1901 and WS Monster Boogie 7, so Manny. And these guys, they are so impressed, but also interested. The fact that the lyrics, there may be some little London nuances in there that they didn't quite get the first time around. And so when you get your package, and when Earl and I get our package, which is in it's all coming across the pond. The response is just amazing, because it's such a quality product, and we're just honoured, I say, to be able to work with people of the calibre of Randy and Eli.